Hey, this is Aaron.
And Fariso.
We are back on episode 9.
Sunday School Rewind.
I took your position. I'm sorry about that.
I see. All right. This is where we break down stories that we hear as kids from an adult lens.
Yep. And today we're going to break down Joseph.
Let's go.
And his dreams. And so we're going to read from the Kids Bible, 365 Bible Stories and Prayers. And we'll get right into it.
Let's
go.
All
right. So we're in Genesis 37. Okay. And we're starting as his favorite son. Jacob had a large family. By the time he was living in Canaan, he had 12 sons. Of Jacob's 2 wives, Rachel was his favorite. Joseph
I
was Jacob.
Felt type of way.
I know.
So many like it's called Jacob's favorite son, and then now so these. All right, we're already starting at a deficit, but.
I mean, I was at the 2 wives. That's pretty crazy to be talking to kids like
Jacob's favorite son. Mama had. Okay, all right.
All right, start from the top again.
Let's start from the top.
Rachel had another baby, but sadly, she died while she was giving birth to him. Jacob was heartbroken when Rachel died. He called the baby Benjamin. In those days, the eldest son was treated in a special way. Because Joseph was Rachel's eldest son, Jacob loved him more than his other sons. He spoiled him and treated him differently. Joseph and his brothers were shepherds, and they looked at their father's sheep. Because he was his favorite, Joseph would tell his father if ever any of the brothers had been up to no good. Now we had Joseph's special coat. Joseph wanted to show Joseph how much he loved him and to show everyone just how special Joseph was. He had a beautiful coat made for him with long sleeves and many wonderful colors. It was the kind of coat that would normally only be worn by an eldest son. When Joseph's 10 older brothers saw him in a special coat, they realized that his father loved Joseph more than he loved them. This made him sad and angry. They were very jealous of Joseph and refused to speak to him. Now Joseph's dream.
I'm already in my feelings.
All right.
Look at what the parents are doing.
We'll wait till the dreams happen. To make matters worse, Joseph insisted on telling everyone about his dreams, in which he was always the most important person. Listen to his dreams I had, he said one day. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field, when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it.
What is a sheaf?
Joseph's brothers soon guessed what he meant. So you think you are going to be a king and ruler of all of us? They asked. Soon Joseph had another dream. Listen, he said to his brothers. This time I dreamed that the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me. Joseph's brothers were very angry, but all Joseph could think of was that perhaps God had chosen him to become someone special. Now we're at brothers' revenge. One day, Joseph's older brother was away from home looking after the family's sheep. Jacob sent Joseph to find them and make sure they were all alright. The brothers saw him in the distance walking towards them. He was wearing his special coat. This is our chance to get rid of him once and for all, he said. So they hatched a plan to kill him. They could then pretend that a wild animal had eaten him out in the wilderness. They were tired of Joseph and his dreams. When Joseph arrived, his brothers grabbed him, but the oldest one, Reuben, shook his head. Let us lower him to the well and leave him there to die, he said, secretly planning to rescue Joseph later. The brothers ripped off Joseph's special coat and lowered him to the deep, dark well. Now last part. Joseph is sold as a slave. A little later, as the brothers sat eating near the well, some spice merchant passed by on their way to Egypt. Seeing them gave Judah an idea. We won't gain anything if Joseph dies, he says. Why don't we sell him as a slave? And so he agreed. Joseph was dragged from the well and sold for 20 silver pieces to the next group of merchants who came along. Then brothers killed the goat, smeared its blood on Joseph's coat. They took the coat to Jacob. When Jacob saw the torn, blood-stained coat, he cried out in pain. He was sure that Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. When Joseph's brothers saw how heartbroken their father was, they were very sorry, but they didn't dare tell him what they really happened. Dun, dun, dun.
That's wild. On many different levels.
Very many different levels. And even in this story, it's like, it's presented to kids so dark.
Yeah,
you know, it is dark, but it's like
this is like, it doesn't feel super child friendly again, like our last.
I'm like, I don't remember this.
Now kids are gonna go home and be like, Mom, who's your favorite? Am I your favorite child? Like, I don't know, but it is what it is. I don't
know, but it's like, I don't remember that. I don't remember like the evilness that was happening, rather than like, I know he was put in some type of pit. I know that he was sold, but I didn't really know why the jealousy.
So do you think these stories were given to you a little bit more watered down?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Oh, for sure.
More happily and friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Pause.
We didn't read this.
We need to give a shout out to our baby, because what did she just do on Friday?
What did she just do? She does a lot of things every day.
On Friday, related to kids and church.
Oh, yes. She went to church on her own.
She had her very first children's ministry experience.
Yes.
And she got an outstanding report. They couldn't believe that it was her first time like in a group setting like that with other kids. And she did great. She did fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't bypass any of my expectations, because she's already great.
Yeah, she's ready to run out and leave us and like do her own thing.
But it's always good to hear it from other people. So
that's cool.
She will be left there more often.
Yeah, now we can finally start taking her to children's ministry.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be a great time.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, this already kind of broke it down already. We can kind of, I know some backstory that you want to talk about, you know, about Joseph. And we can start there first.
All right. You can call me the context queens.
Context queen.
Because
the queen!
I love to like know the history of things. So y'all know in the Bible how they're like, when they give the historical context of like, he begot him and father of and X, Y, and Z.
All these lineage, like the
lineage
tree.
Yeah, and the part that we always skip over.
Yeah.
That's the part that I
find. It's the name that you could never say out loud. You'd be like, the Jezebel and the buzz. You're like, okay, let's get to like line 20.
That's like one of my favorite parts, because you know, also
you are one of zero. Because everybody skips that part.
Okay, so y'all can feel free to fast forward. Actually, don't.
No, please.
It's good stuff.
No, we like
because we have to know like who is Joseph.
Feed us, girl.
Who is Joseph?
Feed our spirit.
Okay, so Joseph. So we'll start with some of his lineage. So first, there was Abraham.
Who is, we all know Abraham.
Who's Abraham? Abraham was the father. He's considered like the father of our faith. He is the one who...
We all come from Abraham.
Yeah, God was told that all of the people on the earth were going to be blessed through Abraham. And then, so Abraham was married to Sarah, and they were like over 100 years old, and they didn't have any kids. Nope. And so how are they going to be blessed if they don't have any kids? So Sarah was barren.
Good for them.
And so
not playing.
And so Sarah hatched the plan and was like, hey, why don't you just have a kid with my maid? And so Abraham was like, okay. So they gave birth to Ishmael, and that was the son that they kind of had on through their own self-effort, but not the son who God promised to them. And so, of course, God was like, that is not what I promised you. Y'all did this on your own. That's not what I said. And so eventually...
But he had it with the maid.
Yeah, he had it with the maid. It's
like me and say, hey, the nanny that's going to come and babysit, I'm going to have a baby with her real quick.
Right. And me co-signing. Me leading that. Crazy. Insane. So
I have no
and the maid's name was Sarah. Was Hagar. If I didn't name her. And then so God gave Sarah a baby eventually when she was super old, and that was Isaac. And so, of course, the promise was given to Isaac because that was the original promise and blessing. And then, all right, from Isaac, we get... So Isaac was married to Rebecca. And guess what?
Typical.
Typical.
YT name.
Sorry. But you know they're not.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. But
the names, right?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So guess what? Rebecca was also barren again. So Isaac had to pray for her to get pregnant, and she got pregnant. But it was like a really difficult pregnancy. And she's like going to God like, man, what is going on?
Blame me for that.
Yeah, what is going on in my belly right now? So God told her that... you know what's happening? There's actually 2 nations inside, and they're inside of your body, and they are struggling within you. And the younger will serve the older. And so, lo and behold and lo, she gives birth to twins. Esau came out first, so he's considered the oldest son. And that was, the Bible says that was Isaac's favorite child. And then the next was...
A lot of favoritism going on.
I know, a lot of favoritism.
We hear that a lot in the Bible. We're going to talk about that, actually. It's a theme.
They gave birth to Esau and Jacob. And Jacob was mom's favorite. Rebecca gives birth to twins. And Esau came out first. And she was... oh, God. Let me get this right.
Yeah, this is why we stop. Because it all sounds confusing, but it's all very relatable. Yeah. So we do appreciate it.
Because we already see like the sibling rivalry, right? We see the Ishmael and the Isaac. Yep. And now we have these two twins. The favoritism. Yeah, so it's like generational. So turned out that Esau was Isaac's favorite. And then also Jacob. She gives birth to Jacob, who was the youngest and also came out to be Rebecca's favorite. And it says like after she gave birth, Jacob was kind of like holding on to the heel of Esau. So we can already see like that struggle with them since like even before they were born. And then Genesis 25, Esau, the oldest, there's this really odd, fascinating story where Esau sells his birthright for a bowl of soup. And Jacob kind of tricked him into doing that. Yeah, you got to read that on your own. It's very interesting. That's Genesis 25.
Oh, it was chicken noodle.
And then there was another trick that was going on, right? So Isaac was in his old age and he wanted to give the blessing to his oldest son, his favorite Esau. And so, but he was old in age. He couldn't really see very well. And guess what? Mama Rebecca sets up her son Jacob to trick the dad. Son works with her younger son Jacob and was like, we're gonna trick your dad so that you get the blessing. So then Isaac accidentally gives Esau's blessing to Jacob.
Interesting.
Yeah. He like
I'm trying to figure out how they accidentally give your blessing.
Well, so like I said, he couldn't see very well, so they like dressed him up. Esau was like was like hairy, and so like they figured out how to like just disguise him and get him to smell like him, and then so Dad ends up bestowing the blessing on
Mom,
Jacob.
Don't be using your kids.
I know, but that was her favorite.
Against your husband.
That was her favorite.
You hear me?
But guess what? But remember, like I said, God, when she asked God, why are the twins, what's going on inside my body? God told her, well, the younger will serve the older. So she kind of, you can blame her a little bit, but also it's like she knew that.
So she thought she was following a calling, I guess.
She possibly could have.
But did she really pray on it?
I don't know.
We don't know about that.
All these people are shady. I mean, all these people, even Abraham, if you read
this
Abraham,
might be the most shade that we're going to see right now today.
Well, yeah, you're right.
That's a lot of brothers.
I'm almost done with my begot. We're almost there. Okay, so now we get to see Jacob, father of Joseph. We get to see him fall in love. And so there's this, it's when I was told, this is kind of told as a really beautiful love story because he fell in love with like Rachel at first sight. Okay. And he worked for her for 7 years. 7 years. But to him, it felt like just a few days. And so he had to work for her father in order to be able to marry her. But guess what Dad did? After he did that work for 7 years,
left. Went to go get some milk. Never came back.
He gave him the wrong daughter. He gave after he did all that work.
Well, the man can't see.
No, this is a different dad.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
This is a different dad. He gave him Leah, because he said, well, listen, you can't have Rachel because she's younger, so you got to go with Leah, and then just work another week, and then I'll give you who you really love, which is Rachel.
So he had to work 1 week harder just to get the girl he wanted.
He
got a replacement, a stand-in.
He had to marry two sisters. So again, we see this theme of sibling rivalry. How do you think that affected those two sisters? Guess what? Someone else is also barren. Rachel, the loved wife, is also barren, so she can't have any kids. But God felt bad for Leah because she was barren. So he said, I'm going to bless you. So she's popping out son after son after son. And she's saying, finally, my husband will love me. Finally. And Rachel is crying and she's envious of her sister because she can't give her husband any kids. And eventually God allows her to have a son. Eventually. When
after how many different procreations before we get to
I think Rachel has had not just Rachel. So actually they went and they did back to what Abraham and Sarah did. They're having their maids have kids. So they're having all these different kids. So I think they had like 11 sons and like one daughter. But yeah, eventually Rachel gives birth to a son who is Joseph, who this story is about. And we can go on from there. But also I just want to say, like, again, the competition between Rachel and Leah that they were kind of like almost forced into is very unfortunate. And yeah, I thought this was very fascinating because you see how
a lot of rivalry
and generational, it's all repeating itself, and then this is foreshadowing, you could call it, into what goes on with Joseph and his brothers.
Okay, let's give a round of applause for Farisa for the for the lineage. She's what's that? What's the DNA test? Is it Friso and me or Friso 21?
The DNA analysis.
The DNA analysis is right in, and we have it all. You know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like a good soap opera.
That's what I'm saying.
Something that Friso loves to watch, y'all.
I sure do watch General Hospital.
Love General Hospital, man. Now you know what I go through. I have to listen to these type of things all the time.
Whatever, you leave the room. You don't even listen to it.
Oh, I'm listening. Trust me. I am listening. But yes, that is deep.
But all because sorry, go ahead.
No, just because like what I'm gathering from it is that there is a lot of internal turmoil in the family unit.
Yeah.
And no one's ever learning what the cost is.
Yeah.
And the cost is the next generation, the next generation, the next generation, the next generation. And it makes you kind of look at your own generation and be like, okay, what happened in my past that kind of similar to what I'm going through now?
Exactly.
And why has no one called it out?
Why is no one learning from?
No.
And why are they repeating the exact same things?
Because we are. What did God say?
Destroyed for our lack of knowledge.
Destroyed for lack of knowledge, but like. Evil.
In Genesis and Adam and Eve, I think it said what we're
geared towards evil.
But also, I wonder generationally, are these people? Do they even know their history? Because a lot of there's so much secrecy.
But do we really know?
When you see me, I sit down with like older people in your family, older people in my
family.
I mean, I try to find out all of the history.
We have to learn. Like I said, we're figuring that out, you know, as we go. But I'm saying, but do we really know? You know, like this is as an African American. Oh, for me as an African American, Friso is not. She's from Zimbabwe. And so there is more of a lineage that's probably more direct, you know, for Friso. But for ours, you know, at least most African Americans in the U.S., a lot of us really don't know unless you have a family reunion, which we have one. And so we're actually very lucky in my family to really know a lot of our roots. And so I'm blessed to have that, you know, every other year, sometimes every year. Where we get together from all parts of the world and, you know, we congregate and we have lessons. And so, but most of America doesn't know anything, you know, about their past, especially as African Americans, because, you know, slavery and the YT people have destroyed some of those things. Sorry, off my soapbox. But so
I'm laughing at you saying YT
because I'm trying to be.
You mean the letters YT, but it sounds worse because it sounds like you're saying Whitey instead of YT.
No, see, you are actually prolongating the T with the YT. Now I'm saying YT.
Babe, just say
Y and
just
T.
Just say white or Caucasian.
Very clear people. So
Lord, we just lost a bunch of listeners.
We lost them. Come back. DEI is here. DEI is here.
All right, finally. All right, thanks for allowing me to.
Thank you for that. All right,
as I could. Hopefully, I did it justice.
You did great. We appreciate it. Cause I said, well, I must skip that part. So we already kind of talked about everything in the children's book, so maybe we don't have to go through everything one by one. But there is like some topical pieces I want to talk about, and the first is like, you know, this idea of favorite son. And you know, Joseph is like chosen as this like favorite, and he's given this special cloth, which some think it's a colored cloth, some it's described as like a long sleeve cloth,
It's like
but
a tunic. It's like a jacket.
Yeah,
It's super
so
colorful.
something special that's made for for a specific person, which is Joseph. And
And he didn't give it to any of
he
his
didn't
other sons.
the other sons. And this is as he's telling his dreams, the bundles that he's gonna be bringing to the family unit, and that everyone else will be bowing down, to that.
Did you want to read it, or did you just want to summarize it?
I'll summarize this one.
Okay.
Listen to the dream. It says on verse 6. It says, "We were out in the field tying up bundles of grain. Suddenly my bundle stood up, and your bundles all gathered around and bowed low before mine." And so, I'm not gonna lie. If someone told me that's in my family, I'm like, right. Are you narcissistic? Like, are you a narcissist? Like, bow down. Like, you. That was like literally, that was very deep, especially he's the youngest in this group.
He's one of the youngest.
One of the youngest.
He's like the second to youngest.
Yeah.
But in his dad's eyes, he's probably the oldest because he's the first child of his favorite wife.
True.
Yeah. But he's the youngest.
And so he's given this beautiful cloak, and that just makes everyone jealous, people mad. But also I try to think of it like, is this considered favoritism or seeing like a gift, in your child, and then you want to nurture that gift. I think about like him having these visions. It's kind of like what do you call it? One of the special gifts that God gives us.
Like a
spiritual gift.
Spiritual gift.
Mm-hmm. And so to me that's in spiritual gifts we talked about before. No, we haven't talked about those.
No.
We talked about it internally. But that's in 1 Corinthians 12. He's kind of like operates like Daniel. Daniel has the gift of dreams, and like reading dreams, interpreting dreams, seeing like what's going to look like in the future. And so, like, is this a father seeing as a favoritism for his child, or is it like I see a gift and I want to nurture it and I want to make sure, we kind of like, we cultivate it. Like what do you feel about that?
Well, I think the Bible is clear. It says that this is his favorite. And then I think we see a little bit later on his second dream, his dad actually rebukes him and is like, "Oh, what are you saying? You're saying that me and your mom are gonna bow down to you? Are you crazy?" So he kind of even rebukes his son for his dream.
He rebukes it, but
he keeps it in mind.
He keeps it in mind. Yeah. And so it's like, I mean, a man to man, my kid telling me I'm gonna bow down to you. Yeah. I probably like I have to first think of all these people as humans first before I like think of them in the like a biblical character, and as if my son's telling me I'm gonna bow down to him, I'm gonna be a little.
But as humans, also, I mean, on that note, like maybe maybe you can't. We don't have multiple kids yet, but like maybe you can't help but have a favorite, right? So. Maybe you can't help having a favorite child.
But but as of what we know of all these brothers, he's the one that's like, he has something special about him. I mean, we're not learning about any we have Reuben here and some other, other brothers that we kind of learn, but we don't learn like what they actually provide to the space. And so, I don't know. I kind of just, was wondering, like it could be favoritism, especially based off of what you've been talking about in the like later generations. It sounds like a lot of it was favoritism happening.
I'm trying to see where's the verse where he actually gives him the coat or the tunic.
So right here in verse 3 it says, Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children because Joseph had been born to him in his old age. So one day Jacob had a special gift made for Joseph, a beautiful robe.
See, he hasn't even gotten to the dreams yet.
True.
I think he just gave it to him because he wanted to have him decked out.
So he born to him in the old age. I'm going to go get the little one.
Okay, Zendaya has woken up after sleeping for 15 and a half hours.
Keep the party rolling.
Why did she sleep for 15 and a half hours? Because yesterday she refused to nap with me. So she slept extra long. Dad is going to get her. But yeah, I think Jacob just saw his little son Joseph. Oh, is that my baby? That's my favorite baby. Is that my favorite baby? My favorite baby.
Watch from the sidelines.
You're my only baby for right now. Hey, good morning or good afternoon. Hey. Say hi.
Hi.
Perfect. Good job.
All right. Yeah, I know. Mommy and Daddy have to finish, okay? All right. Okay. You
Welcome
listen.
Zendaya, everyone.
Welcome. Woo!
Still on the show, per usual. So yeah. Oh, so yeah. So I mean, maybe this is favoritism. You know, so born his old age, it seemed like he gave him a special gift. But also, you know, I wonder, you know, even like, you know, I look at Zendaya and it's just like I see special things happening in her now. I can already know, like, I feel like there's gonna be something that's gonna happen that's gonna be a gift that she has. And I can call certain gifts out. I'm feeling like she's gonna have, and so I don't know if there's any backstory between Jacob, you know, and Joseph, you know, as they, you know, as he grew up with him or raised him. But it does look like he just favoritized them.
So I guess the question is, well, how do you, as a parent, how do you nurture the gifts that you see
Without putting favoritism on?
Well, yeah, without putting favoritism.
Well, you don't give them a one beautiful robe and let everyone else wear.
It's so obvious.
You know, like
it's so obvious, and you should be nurturing the gift in
potato
all of your children.
True. So yeah, probably not the best way to handle this.
So did you feel like your parents had any favoritism among y'all?
My mom would say, "I love you most" when other people weren't around. When the other brother and sister wasn't around.
Right.
So you know, I think the reality was, you know, she'll say like I'm her favorite 'cause I'm the youngest. You know, but then like, you know, my brother is probably her favorite because, you know, he's the, like, you know, oldest and, you know, most in charge, right. you know, responsible. And then my sister's her favorite because that's her best friend.
Right.
So it's just like, so it's like, I don't think, you know, there's anyone that would they will probably put everything on me because when they all left, it's like, you're going to give your little ones
the one-on-one attention.
Yeah, one-on-one attention, as well as, you know, the other kids are not running your bank account, you know, all day. So it's like, I probably got maybe a little bit more gifts, you know. And so, yeah. And so, so I don't think favoritism wasn't harmful to our relationship, at least.
Well, I will say I do think I was my mom's favorite child. JK, no, I think it's along the lines of what you're saying. I think
let the Maswaswe sisters have their take on that.
And brothers. There's 6 of us, 3 boys, 3 girls.
Oh yeah, true.
But my mom, I really did grow up. Like, my mom did a great job of loving each of us because she told me all the time that I was her favorite, and I believed her. Come to find out, she was telling that to everybody. So she instilled it so much in me.
You believed it?
Yeah, I believed it, but she was saying it to all of us. So yeah, but I do think like you probably love people differently for different reasons. But yeah, I think is like, yeah, how do you make sure that you're fostering healthy sibling relationships amongst your kids? Because again, I'm really blaming these parents for these this rivalry, because it seems like they did more to motivate it rather than discourage it.
True. So I guess the moral of the story is, you know, look at your own. If you are a parent, are you pulling favoritism? How are you doing it? And do you ever talk to your kids and ask them how they feel? You know, when you give certain gifts to other people, or like you applaud, you know, the good things that maybe one, you know, son does that the daughter maybe has a hard time doing, you know. How did that other kid feel? You know, like we only have one right now, so it's all attention's on her, but you know, when we have our second, that's something that we're going to be challenged with. And I don't need them to be acting like this, that's for sure.
But also, you don't want them to, like, I don't want anyone's shine to be dimmed. So I think you have to encourage a culture where you're complimenting each other, like having the siblings compliment and uplift each other rather than the parents being, that has to be a part of your family culture. And,
true.
Yeah.
Anything else
on the subject of favoritism?
Favoritism, as well as the dreams itself.
No, do we just want to talk quickly about that second dream?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So he had a second dream, and it was basically the same. Yeah, I know. He had a second dream, but
the second dream went like this. The second dream actually was the time that I dreamed that the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars were bowing down to me. So a lot of bowing. Yeah. So to me, it's like he went from a very local standpoint to now like universal, like moon, stars, like sun. So to me, it's like, man, you have narcissistic like mentality right now, man. It's like,
well, you're calling him narcissistic, but it's not his fault.
I know, I know, but I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying
how
like
they would
how you can perceive that, like this grandiose, like personality. Are you bipolar? Like, what's going on? So I would say if you don't know special gifts, that God's given you,
right.
If you don't have a relationship with God, and you don't have a relationship with your own family, I would say for sure off the bat, this would sound very negative.
Shoot, it might sound negative to anyone who does. No.
I don't have my own dreams. I don't hear people talking about dreams. I would respect it. I don't know if I would know if I'm going to be bowing down to you versus like something's going to happen that you're known to be good for. Yeah. The only jealousy maybe I would have is like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, what's my thing?
What's so bad about bowing down to a person? I think that's something. Well, especially if it's like God ordained. What is like? Why do we have a problem with like bowing down to spiritual authority? We see that with like, you have to respect your parents, you have to respect your spouses, you have to respect people at work. Like, why is it so taboo to say like,
well, because look at like certain like Asian cultures, they actually physically bow down to people.
I love that for them.
So I'm saying like it's not in our culture,
and in African cultures too.
So African culture, like even in animal culture, I think like apes and monkeys, like to show seniority or show leadership, they'll have to bow down.
It's a show of respect, but why do we have such a hard time showing respect?
Because we don't do that. That's a U.S. culture doesn't have that. We don't have that. We don't have. We're in a very like fight your own fight. Everyone that's above you need to like try to conquer them to be better than them.
Well, I also think it's also just answering my own question is that he's one of the younger siblings. I wonder if they would feel so like badly about it if the older brother, if Reuben, the oldest brother, had this vision.
I don't think so. I mean, I think he's already being favoritism.
No, I'm saying if the older brother had this vision, would they accept it better?
I don't think so.
Oh, you think they would still be upset?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think right now it's twofold. He's the youngest, but also he's being like his favorite is his dad has favoritized him already. That's not the word. Okay. And then also it's just like right now we don't know anything about the brothers that's showing that they're like have any special things. And so my thing is, everyone as a male. And once again, we hear this from the male perspective. Nothing about that one.
The sister?
Sister.
I think she was sexually assaulted in a previous chapter, but that's another conversation.
But even in that scene, I think, you don't think about male testosterone is that a lot of males, a lot of, men that have brothers, it's very competitive. Or just outside of just even their relationship with their family, just in general with sports or with their friends, it's a very competitive lifestyle.
Sorry, I think sister's name was Dinah. I don't want to brush past her. At one point, we're going to have to talk about how the Bible portrays women.
Yeah, you're right. Because after we heard about in the kids' Bible, Jacob having 2 wives, that's actually a lot. So yeah, we just need to take a look at what's going on in the Bible about, how they betray women. And so what we can do now is look at the brothers' revenge. For me, it was like they went through many depths just to plan to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. And it's just like their lies got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know, like how much deceit do you need to get to a point where it's like, maybe I should turn back. Maybe I should not do this, and we can try to give as much kudos to Reuben as possible, but I blame him too, Mm-hmm. You didn't want to kill him, but, throw him in the pit, maybe I'll come back. I'll try to come back for him. Mm-hmm. Why can't you just say, hey, let's not do this,
Because maybe he thought his brothers were going to overtake him and then throw him in the pit too. So I think he was going to come back for him until that was his intention. But my question is, like, at the end, why didn't he tell his dad what really happened?
Yeah, because he's already gone. It's like, at that point, it's like, I had to go through, wanting to kill him, to wanting to throw him in the pit, to then deciding, oh, let's sell him into slavery, to then lying that he got killed in the first place, you know, and then the fact that they had to go through the way they did it too was like had to like go slaughter a sheep, I believe, you know, and dip the cloth, you know, that his father gave Joseph, you know, so it's like that, you had to plan it, you know.
But to me, it's like you have a chance to correct it. Like, yeah, it's already done, but maybe your dad can go find him where he was sold into slavery and correct it, or at least just give your dad the comfort of like not mourning his favorite son, you know. But so it's like, why didn't you just confess?
Because you're so deep in.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not about like what was right and wrong. It's just like you're deep.
I'm just saying,
like you're so deep. It's like you're probably hurting more on the inside than that you're showing, because you just realize like what you have done. But obviously, yes, the right idea would to, you know, right now that especially Reuben, because like, you know, he's the one that was planning.
He's actually the firstborn. He's the number one son. But that's where I blame him, is that you didn't come clean.
The fact that like they knew that he didn't die, they knew that they took the cloth, dipped it in goat's blood. And then gave it to him. Like, you are literally like sitting in the lie and watching your father like cry through this.
Say I'm gonna mourn till the day I die.
Yeah, like that is, jeez.
And it's like, what did you get from all of that?
Like I said, I don't think this is like a period of like, oh, they could have done the right thing versus this just kind of shows what feels to me is like when people go down the wrong path and you don't put a stop to it, you know, you end up just kind of snowballing.
What a tangled web we weave when at first we think to deceive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what do you do at that end? You know, at the point you gotta tell the truth. You know.
They didn't.
But they didn't. You know, exactly. And I mean, there's more to the story. We'll find out. How can we interpret that in like, I guess, modern terms? You know, like in some way, either people out there that are like that. I think of like habitual liars. You know, I had a really good friend. You know, I'm not gonna put any names out.
No, we want his name.
Nope. I'm not putting no names out. He might listen to the podcast, and I want him to listen to it because he's still a good person. But pretty much, I knew who the habitual liar to other people. You know, we were basketball buddies. You know, like hanged out at his house, hanged out at my house, knew my family. I knew his family. And I just remember, like, this is high school, so this is back in like PSP days, you know, like the handheld PS1, you know, you could play mobile games. And so I used to have one at my house. We were playing at my house, and I remember he was there playing with me, and then I remember the next day going back to my house and looking for it, and it was gone. And then I remember going to his house.
A liar and a stealer and a thief.
And I went to his house, and, you know, I asked him about it. He's like, no, I don't have it, you know. All right, well, that's cool, you know. It's my best friend. You know, it's a good friend of mine, you know, like, it's good. It dropped out of his backpack at his house. His mom saw it, and I feel like she knew before I knew it. Like, he know what he does.
She did.
But I was like oblivious, you know. You're like, I could never happen to me. It's like, I'm your good friend.
Yeah.
But I could
do with you.
It doesn't do with it. Yeah. But just like that idea of like, he had to lie to me at first. Then he had to lie again when it dropped out of his back. He made some other lie out, you know, like, oh, it must have dropped when I was playing and I didn't know it was there. It's like, it's been 3 days, man. You've been in your backpack for 3 days. And so like then the next thing is, no, he gets in trouble with not just me, but also his parents.
Yeah.
And actually the big trouble is that we don't really connect after that. You know, we haven't connected in a very long time. And so it's like people they rather stay in the dark, you know, when it's, you know, when the tunnel like doesn't look like there's an outlet versus like trying to find a way out. Trying to find a way out. Stop. Don't quit. Find a way out. There's always usually a way out. God usually gives us sometimes a way out. And they gave him a lot of ways out.
You just gave me a flashback to when we first started dating and you let me borrow your car. We were like 2 months in and I had a friend in town and you said, do you remember what you said?
I don't remember what I said.
You said,
I remember doing it.
You just said, if anything happens, just please don't lie to me about it.
Oh, facts. Just tell the truth.
Like, just don't lie.
Just tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Nothing happened, thankfully.
Nothing happened. But, you know, that's, you know, we teach our kids that, you know, right? It's like, just tell the truth. It's like, it's easier for me to go, you know, like, as, you know, Zendaya's dad, it's easier, I feel like it would be for me to, like, hear it from the horse's mouth and then understand that is so psychologically, she is actually, like that behavior is actually like it's something to applaud versus like the actual behavior that she did. So the behavior of her telling me is actually something that I would think I'd be proud about versus what actually happened. And to me, like I can get down with that. I can, figure my way around that situation. And so I think God sees us like that. The act that we do that is bad or evil or is, not of God, I think he sees us as children in that instance. And he's like, that behavior of you just telling me, repenting,
right,
and, showing me that, you are weak is more awarding.
You better preach.
Than the issue that you just presented to me.
Exactly. Because mistakes and all that stuff, those are all inevitable, but it's like, how are we going to deal with them? And that helps to build intimacy and relationship when it's like, we can come to each other and be like, I messed up, That's what builds love too. And trust.
Now don't be coming with mistakes every second and be like, oh, I told him yesterday. I brought something else today. How you feeling, Dad?
But it's okay.
No, I'm playing. I was kidding.
But God will still.
But God will be okay with it. So I take that back. Yeah. God would love for you to keep making mistakes and keep coming back.
Don't ever feel too.
And so
I used to have a friend. He would go down to the altar like every Sunday.
He was there morning service and afternoon.
You just went down to the altar like last week. Like okay, like I think every time he had like sex, he would feel like he had to go back down.
I broke up with that girl again. I gotta bring her back, God. I don't know. That's funny.
I want to say two things that stuck out to me about this passage is when his brothers, when they see him, they say, "Oh, here comes that dreamer," and that just, to me, it makes me think about. Well, first of all, they're mocking him for his dreams, and so for me, it makes me think about, well, what flaws did Joseph have? And one of the flaws I see within him, which I love about all these Bible stories, is that no one is perfect. But to me, I wonder if he was like a blabbermouth, if he was kind of bragging, like if he was bragging about these dreams that he had, and if he was kind of like being overly, I don't know, overly just like, I'm gonna roll over you to them. I wonder that about him. And to
me, think of what if Joseph was actually doing that this whole time?
Because I'm like, why?
I say his dreams. How he says it seems.
How so? It seems what?
What you're saying?
Yeah,
like why is it could be possible.
Like why is like so? To me, I'm just saying for ourselves, like we have to really be conscious of like, is what I'm saying necessary to say to these people? Like some things are kept to ourselves, or some things are kept for our inner circle, especially our dreams. Like those have to be protected. And him being a big blabbermouth, which I feel like he was, put him in the situation where his brothers hated him even more.
Yeah. No, I definitely see that could like sometimes that's when we read in the story. Sometimes of like, is there more that I'm missing?
Yeah.
Like the scripture sometimes gives us like kind of like oversight, but obviously we're not seeing the day to day.
Yeah.
We skip months, years, through their lives. It feels like, and like I said, I don't know how was Joseph actually acting.
He might have been a little brat.
Yeah, exactly.
His dad was spoiling him.
Exactly.
He was probably a little brat.
He could have been. I mean, look at this kid in the store. I mean,
look at him. He's decked out.
look at his little red hair.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't trust him myself.
I know. He knows. I
don't trust him.
He
look like Meta. I don't trust him. I don't trust little Meta kid.
What? Okay, so his brothers were jealous about him, and so can you think of like what are some ways that we can avoid jealousy in our own lives?
That's hard. That is hard, because I think you gotta first is knowing when you're jealous.
Like acknowledging
your jealousy. Yes. So I think that is. I mean, if I had to put just the stamp on it, is just like, do you know when you're getting jealous? I don't think a lot of people do.
Right.
I think they make it a different emotion. Like, like, oh no, that person's hating on me. Oh no, like, they're actually getting more than me and I'm working harder. Like they'll put it back on them versus on themselves. So it's like, I say them. I talk about myself. I would do that sometimes. And so it's like, first is acknowledging jealousy.
Yeah.
Can you acknowledge what your jealousy looked like? Because we're all jealous in different realms. I think jealousy is natural. I don't think it's wrong, in per se. I think when it alters your mindset of how you feel about people in general, and it actually deters you from navigating life to make yourself better, I think that's becomes problematic. Like your jealousy now is based on other things and superficial things, or how other people perceive the world versus how you actually perceive the world. I think that's a problem. So I would be my first thing, acknowledging. I don't know how you feel.
For me, I appreciate you saying that. For me, when I start to feel jealousy, that's a signal to myself that I am off of my own course. I'm off of my own path. So if I start to feel jealousy, I'm like, okay, well, what am I not doing in my life that I'm super proud of, that God has called me towards? So that is an indicator to me that I need to get back to my work. And so kind of what I said so that's it's a clue for me that I need to get back on my course, because I think when we are very confident in ourselves, confident in what God has called us to, then there's not really room to be jealousy, because you're happy and you're excited about what you're doing in your life. So it's a really good indicator to okay, let me get back on the stuff that I'm meant to do, because I'm confident in what God has called me towards. So it can be a helpful emotion in that way.
This is not jealousy. You just said confident and you're moving. What was the guy walking on water towards Jesus?
Peter?
Was it Peter?
I think so.
And then how he looked away from him, and he lost it, and then that's when he had to catch himself.
Exactly.
And so I just think of like when you said losing that confidence.
Exactly.
It's probably not jealousy, but when I thought about confidence and not being focused on what your path is, I thought about that.
Yeah, and then I think about, remember when we did this, we looked at the spiritual gifts, not on this podcast, but between the two of us, and it's we're all, as a body of Christ, we're all called to do different things, and it's none is bigger than the other. So also what I said, what's wrong with bowing down to another person? It's we're all meant to do different things, and it's they're all equal. They're just different.
And that's why I said, I think earlier, or maybe I didn't, is I don't know what these other 10 brothers do.
Yeah.
What do y'all do? It's they might have roles that are very significant, but it's I don't know what they do yet. And so it would have been nice. It's probably there.
They probably don't know what they do.
Well, they're not they're probably not even focused on.
Right, they're focused on Joseph. But also, bring it back to the dad too, where it's you gotta call out the gifts of all of your children.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I think that's a good stamp for today. I know Joseph has a full long story that we have to get to one day. There's a lot that he is known for, and the way he comes back in redemption on his brothers is crazy.
One of my affirmations is Joseph, I prosper in everywhere. Joseph, I prosper everywhere that I go, in every situation that I'm in. So Joseph, you'll see in our future episodes that he went through a lot of bad things, but God prospered him in every single position.
Oh, I think she's trying to say that's our cue. You need to pay attention to me now, Mommy and Daddy. I know we're over time, but we appreciate y'all being here with us. So as always, let's just pray it out to the new day. All right. So God, thank you for today. Thank you for bringing us here together in blessed and harmony to learn about Joseph, his lineage, our own lineage. God, thank you for us giving us a story to learn about our own brothers and sisters, our own relationships with our family members. How can we connect with them now so we don't have that egregious feeling that the brothers had towards Joseph? God, allow us to know when our jealousy is coming into play and how we can best focus on you so that we don't go down a terrible path that you don't want for us. God, learn to tell us to stop. Learn to allow us to learn to listen to you. God, you are with us at all times. And we think Zendaya is saying stop.
Here's that for muscle lot. Stop.
Stop, devil. Stop. Exactly. Stop. In the name of Jesus. But thank you, God, for allowing us this opportunity to just learn. And thank you for allowing us opportunity to just be gracious and be a blessing into your name. And so I'm gonna stop there because I think I'm gonna laugh all the way out. You want to say something? You want to say stop before we say amen?
You say stop, devil.
Yeah, let them know. Good job. Amen.
Amen.
We love y'all. We're here. See you next time.
Thank y'all. Bye.